Alrighty, we're in round 4. We have lost the die roll yet again. We're playing against our opponent, Jasono. And we're looking at a hand, a 2-lander. A 2-lander with a good first turn play, a good second turn play, a couple second turn plays, a bushwhacker, and some interaction. I think this is a snap keep, so we'll keep it. Again, Foundry Street into either War Marshal or Dragon Fodder is a great curve in this deck. Botanical Sanctum. Interesting. With Ether Vial. Looks like we're playing against some sort of brew. I like brews. Could be some sort of combo deck. Could be like Nightfall, which is a cool deck I haven't seen in a while. Tarkus Command is an okay draw. We're going to Copper Line into Foundry Street. Could also just be like a Merfolk deck, just with green. Maybe he's splashing green for like Collected Company or something. Who knows? But we'll F6. See what our opponent's going to do. Ether Vial gets its trigger. It's got a Mutavault. Mutavault also supports the Merfolk. Spreading Seas kind of guarantees that this is now Merfolk. So that's fine. Spreading Seas kind of sucks because that means that we're not going to be able to cast a Tarkus Command, but we may not actually end up casting a Tarkus Command, so at least not before we draw another land anyway. It's not going to cut us off from War Marshal or Dragon Fodder, though. Another Dragon Fodder is definitely not what we wanted here, but we'll take it. Oh, this not producing red does actually cut us off from Bushwhacker, which is pretty bad, actually, for us. We are going to main phase Mogg War Marshal to pump our Foundry Street. Now, he could be able to, he could Ether Vial in a Curse Catcher or something, which isn't a bad play. Trading with Foundry Street's probably a good move, but I don't think that's going to prevent me from attacking. Goes to 17, and we'll see how he responds. Ether Vial is going to tick up to 2. This is where he can start actually casting stuff with it. We're definitely not going to pay for Mogg War Marshal next turn. We would like to draw a mountain so we could Bushwhacker. Metallic Mimic. Oh man, this is a strange brew. Very strange brew. He did choose Merfolk. This is a pretty cool build of Merfolk. This is I guess the Metallic Mimic is another 2-drop Lord that doesn't have restrictions on mana cost. So I guess that's kind of nice. We're not going to pay our cost here. We're going to get our second Goblin token. We're going to hope for a land here, but I think we're fine with just about anything. That pumps the old Foundry Street. Goblin Grenade isn't the best. Is not the best, unfortunately. He probably has something that he can Ether Vial in. If he Ether Vials in a Lord, that'll make it a 3-2. Him blocking my Goblin tokens. It's pretty bad at that point. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to Dragon Fodder, just to get some more guys out. And we're going to attack with Foundry Street. If he trades with Metallic Mimic, I'm pretty cool with that. If he tosses something in to block it, I'm kind of cool with that too. Oh. Undo. There we go. We want to just attack with Foundry Street. It kind of forces him to do something. Got a Lord of Atlantis. Just took 3 damage from Breeding Pool. I'm fine with that. Get a green mana. You get a Fog. Blossoming Defense. This is a spicy, spicy deck. I am digging it. That's +2/+2 and hexproof until end of turn. That is pretty slick, opponent. That is pretty slick. So, the end result here is he's going to get to kill my Foundry Street. He had to use a spell and also take 3 damage from his Breeding Pool, his fetch land for Breeding Pool. So all in all, I'm not super upset by this trade. Kept his Ether Vial in 2, kind of what I've expected. Most of his cards are going to cost 2. Ether Vialing in main phase, probably another Lord to pump his guys. Silvergill Adept. Actually, it looks like he's Ether Vialing it in so he could draw a card, probably because he needs to draw a land. He's down to his, he was down to his last 1 card, so he's got a Curse Catcher was one of his 2 cards. Probably the card that he drew this turn. Activating Mutavault. Looks like he's going to come in hard. Keeping his Lord of Atlantis back, presumably because that's the one that does not get Island Walk. Hitting me for 6. That's not, that's respectable. That's a decent amount of damage. Did draw his land, so he is empty-handed. Okay, Bloodstained Mire is good. It is good. So what do? I think I play another Dragon Fodder. Oh, I forgot about Curse Catcher. So I'm not going to be able to Lightning Bolt his Curse Catcher. I'm not going to be able to Lightning Bolt his Lord of Atlantis. It's going to be his Curse Catcher. Probably actually should have done that in an opposite order. Yeah, that might have been a mistake. Okay. So, definitely made a mistake there. I should have Lightning Bolted, even though it loses the surprise value of the Lightning Bolt. I should have Lightning Bolted first, his Lord of Atlantis, so he couldn't Curse Catcher it. And then I could have left open, like, say, the Dragon Fodder or the Atarka's Command. Probably the Dragon Fodder. So, yeah, that was a little bit of a mistake. Because now I can't Lightning Bolt his Lord of Atlantis, and all of his dudes are pretty mostly unblockable. How much damage is he actually dealing to me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Theoretically lethal. Theoretically lethal. Alright. Not going to be able to get a green, unfortunately. Going to have to get the basic. So, even though he's going to sack his Curse Catcher, that means I'm not going to be dead. That Spreading Seas has actually wrecked me more than anything else this game. I mean, I was a little land short. I needed to draw that third land much sooner, but him actually cutting me off of double red or green has actually been really, really painful. So he definitely doesn't have another Lord in hand, because if he did, he would have cast it there with Either Vial to kill me. Legion Loyalist. Legion Loyalist. Let's think here. So I've got 1, 2, 3... 4, 5, 6, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. Oh, it says it right there. It says it right there in the number in the lower left-hand corner. I am a little dumb, sorry. So I've got 6 tokens here. If he blocks one, that's 5 damage. Could be 10 damage if I Bushwhacker. Could also be 10 damage if I Goblin Grenade. Or I could Goblin Grenade his Lord of Atlantis, which would then prevent him from killing me on the attack back. I think that might be the better play. So we're going to pay a red, sack a dude, see if his last spell is a counterspell. Get him off the table, that's nice. Gonna play Legion Loyalist. And then I'm going to attack with 3 and leave 3 back to block with, because he has Mutavault, Mimic, and Silvergill. I know that's really, really tight, that if he has any kind of interaction, then I pretty well just lose. But I think that's... I want to trigger Legion Loyalist. I guess it really doesn't matter if I trigger Legion Loyalist, but I think that that's the way that we're going to play it. Oh... But he has Ether Vial. If he had a creature, he probably would have played it, unless that creature was something that wouldn't have pumped things, like Metallic Mimic or Silvergill Adept. I think I just talked myself into only attacking with 2 creatures. So we're going to leave 4 back. Does have an Ether Vial. He's targeting the Legion Loyalist. Probably should have targeted one of my tokens, one of my untapped tokens. Yeah, I think he probably should have bounced one of my untapped tokens, because then he could swing across for the win. By bouncing my Legion Loyalist, let's see, how's that work? Oh, it has to be a tapped creature. Yeah, okay. So it has to be a tapped creature. That's why he didn't hit one of my tokens. That makes more sense now. And he's just going to block my my Goblin token. Yeah, my opponent just sent me a message saying that he bounced the wrong dude. I think he's right there. I think he should have bounced the token and blocked the Loyalist. Just letting him know that I'm not 100% certain that that particular mistake is going to cost him the game, though. He's got a Vial, brings in another Silvergill Adept, and see what he draws off of it. He's fetched a land. He might have a Cryptic Command, or not Cryptic Command, a Collected Company. The other card that is 2 words that both start with C. He could have a Collected Company here, and he may be looking to cast it, so to pump his team. Gonna Spreading Seas, yet another one of my mountains. Opponent has no idea how hard that is actually wrecking me. Let's see. I mean, he has to just come across with all 4 guys, right? Because that means I have to block with all of my tokens. Yeah, if he comes across with everything, I mean, I'm going to draw my card, but I'm probably going to end up scooping. Because I don't think I have a solution. He's not attacking with the Mimic. Okay. If I leave one dude and I draw a land, I can pretty mostly get across for 4 damage, and that's not worth anything. So I think we're just going to concede. I think we're just going to concede. He kills these dudes. It really does not matter what I draw. There's no way I can come out of that. Okay, so moving into game 2. Not looking good. Really not looking good. The only way that I can really beat his deck is to outrace it. So Electrickery is not going to do much because most of his guys survive it. Shattering Spree, he only has the Aether Vial, so it's not really worth it. He doesn't have anything that affects the graveyard. Atarka's Command is... I mean, it stops life gain, it deals a little damage, pumps my dudes. I don't know if that's better than anything else that I currently have in my deck. Destructive Revelry might be worth it to smash Aether Vials. Karizev's Expertise. The problem is that most of his guys are big because of his lords. The only one that affects my team would be Lord of Atlantis. I guess the Mimic puts counters on, and that's going to get transferred over. But I don't think that it's something I'm going to get to cast. So I really don't think that I have a game plan that's going to be effective in the sideboard. I think that we just have to hope our main deck is going to be fast enough that we can get across before he really starts to get rolling. So we're just going to actually run it back exactly as is, and we're going to hope that our deck is fast enough to get across. So we will play first. This is a 2-lander. We have lots of 1-drops, actually. Lots of 1-drops into Dragon Fodder, into Goblin Bushwhacker. Bushwhacker might not see any play because he's got Spreading Seas, but I think this is a pretty good keep. I think if any hand could beat Merfolk, I think something like this would be it. So we're going to... click the wrong card. We're going to click Copperline Gorge, get that into play. We're going to cast Foundry Street Denizen. And we're going to see what he does turn 1. Probably Aether Vial, maybe a Curse Catcher, maybe no turn 1 play. That's kind of nice. Double Goblin Guide seems like a winning combination. So yeah, we're gonna Goblin Guide. I guess there's a reason why you could play Legion Loyalist here in case he has something with Flash that First Strike might be worth having. But I don't think that's as cool as having 2 Goblin Guides on turn 2. That is what I like to call Ruthless Aggression. It's Cavern of Souls. Cavern of Souls is a card that I actually would like to have for this deck. I don't currently own any on Magic Online. But that's a card that I would like to add to this deck in the future. Alrighty. Now he does have a Harbinger of Tides, which he could play, bounce something. Foundry Street is probably what I would bounce, because that's the one that doesn't get haste. Bouncing a Goblin Guide is probably not the best play. I will try not to counter your Merfolk creature. There's Harbinger. Let's see what he bounces. Gonna bounce the Foundry Street, as predicted. Now, I would really like to draw a land here, because I would like to be able to Legion Loyalist and then kick Bushwhacker. Reckless Bushwhacker, unfortunately, is not what I was looking for here. But I think I'm going to Legion Loyalist Foundry Street. And unfortunately, I have to attack with Legion Loyalist, but I want to give my guys First Strike. He's going to end up blocking the Legion Loyalist, though. Maybe I don't attack. I really hate not attacking with this deck, because it's really, really slowing you down. Yeah, let's play the Foundry Street. And I think we're just going to attack with the 2 Goblin Guides. And if he's interested in trading with a Goblin Guide, that's fine. Got an island. Oops, sorry, that was my fault. I thought I was waiting on him. He was actually waiting on me. He has a Spreading Seas on top, which sucks. But so he is going to trade with a Goblin Guide. That's fine. That puts him at 10. I think if he Spreading Seas this turn, that's really, really not slowing me down. I mean, it is, because it means I can't Bushwhacker, but that means that he's not playing something that he can use to block with. So he's got this dude. This is a new guy. So when he enters the battlefield, it explores, reveal top card of your library. Put that card into your hand if it's a land. Otherwise, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Then put the card back or put it into your graveyard. Okay, so there are a bunch of new cards from Ixalan that are or green and Merfolky. So that's probably where this brew is coming from, and I respect that. This is a pretty good card. This is very akin to Silvergill Adept. Fortunately for me, he actually got a land instead of a non-land card, which means this guy's not going to come in with a +1/+1 counter. Because now that means when I attack with my Legion Loyalist, I can first strike him down. He has too many cards. He has to discard. Drawing a land there was spectacular. Okay, so what does this mean? I could regular Bushwhacker with Outkick into Reckless Bushwhacker. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and he'd have to block one creature. Think my math is right there, but we'll see. Obviously, he could have like a Vapor Snag or something here. The trample is going to make him blocking pretty useless, so because he's only got a 1 toughness creature, that's not really slowing it down. Legion Loyalist is the MVP of this deck. He's kind of the sleeper MVP of this deck, because that trample and first strike is just so valuable when you get it off. Alright, so we won that one. That was good. So we're 1-1. After seeing his deck a second time, I still don't think there's anything I really need to change out. Kari Zev isn't really dealing a lot of damage, and that's the only card that I think is fringe playable in the sideboard. So I think we're just going to go and snap it back one more time. Hopefully we win this round. If we do, that means we're still in it to make some money. But if we lose this round, we're still going to give you a 5th game. So here we go. All right. So this is a 3-land hand. We got a good first turn play, a good second turn play, and then a couple of Lordy type creatures, plus 3 lands. And I think 3 is actually the number of lands that we want in our opener, so we're going to keep it. This is pretty solid. I could, like, if this Bushwhacker was like a Lightning Bolt or something, I'd be a little happier, but I don't think I can complain about this at all. He's taking damage from his Breeding Pool. Gonna play his Ether Vial. Foundry Street is an okay play, or okay first turn play. I think it's better to get Foundry Street down over top of Goblin Guide, so we are going to do that first. And we're going to fetch Basic Mountain, because the only card in this deck, main deck, that uses green is going to be a Tarkus Command, and we only have 2 of them, and we have 2 more fetch lands, so I don't think it's necessary that we get that now. I think it's actually more necessary that we conserve our life total in the face of another aggressive deck. Let's see. Going to be pumping the Ether Vial. Plays another land. It's another fetch land. That's good for us. Usually one of the big benefits to Merfolk is that you don't have to play fetch lands, and you don't have to play shock lands, so you actually get to kind of protect your life total against other aggressive decks. And that's one of the things that I can see as being a problem with this version, is just going to be the, I don't know, the kind of lack of consistency with the mana. Spreading Seas is pretty good here. That means that we can't... well, I guess actually it doesn't really affect this turn. It kind of depends on what we draw. If we drew another 1-drop, that would probably be bad, but I think that we're probably pretty fine with that. All right, we drew another land. Our options this turn are we can Goblin Guide, play a fetch land and fetch a shock, have it come into play tapped to save our life total. That'll swing for 4. Alternatively, we can play our mountain, play Dragon Fodder, and double pump the Foundry Street. That's 1 less damage, but it puts 2 more bodies on the table, which means on turn 3 we can Goblin Guide into Reckless Bushwhacker, and I think that's the play that I want to make, is Goblin Guide into Reckless Bushwhacker on turn 3. So we are going to play Basic Mountain, we are going to Dragon Fodder, we'll double pump the Foundry Street. Like I say, it's 1 less damage this turn, but it's more damage later on. It looks like he might have a Curse Catcher, though. That is a consideration I hadn't thought about. He could be Curse Catchering. Looks like he is. Looks like he's going to counter Dragon Fodder, which is unfortunate. Again, this is why Mogg War Marshal is vastly superior to Dragon Fodder, but you know, we're not going to split hairs there. We're only going to get in for 1 this turn, unfortunately. We are running short on time, so I may actually have to do less commentary here and more game playing. Usually my games move a lot faster playing Goblins. Usually they're over pretty quick. But We've been doing a lot of explanation this game, so we're starting to run a little short on time. Opponent's thinking. Either Violin 2 is pretty good for him. There's his new card, this Branch Walker. He's got a Curse Catcher. Let's see what he does with it. He left Curse Catcher on top of the library. That's actually pretty good for us because we don't really have that many more spells. We have none in our hand, and we could top deck one, but... Lightning Bolt is pretty good. Alright, so I can Goblin Guide into Reckless Bushwhacker and attack. Then he's going to block something and it's going to die, but we'll trade. Or I could Lightning Bolt the Branch Walker out of the way and then Bushwhacker. He still has Ether Vial on 2 up, so he definitely has a surprise blocker. Or at least I have to assume that he has a surprise blocker. But I'm going to do the option that involves me not losing Goblin Guide right now. I'm going to surge up a Reckless Bushwhacker. He does have a guy, or he's, pump faking me. There's Harbinger. He is going to bounce Foundry Street. Let's see if he blocks the Reckless Bushwhacker. So it doesn't look like he's blocking. He took the damage. That's fine. Ether Vialing main phase for Silvergill, so he can draw his card, potentially his land drop. Master of the Pearl Trident is a good play. It's giving his guys a bump and also Island Walk. Spreading Seas might be a reason why to bring in Destructive Revelry now that I think about it. Not just because it hurts my mana base, but because it makes his guys unblockable. Not that I do a lot of blocking with goblins, but looks like he's going to play that Curse Catcher. Yeah, there's his Curse Catcher. That means he's completely tapped out, which is good. I think the best top deck right now would be Foundry Street. Or not Foundry Street, Legion Loyalist. Of course I didn't draw it, but if I had drawn it there, I could cast it plus Goblin Chieftain, attack across. If he blocks, that's all first strike. Let's think about how much damage he can deal back to me. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A Lord would pump that up. Another 4 and probably kill me. I don't think that we can play conservatively, though. Let's Foundry Street and Chieftain. And I think we're going to not attack with the Chieftain. He's probably going to block with Curse Catcher. I probably would anyway, because Curse Catcher is not getting a lot of value right now. He took it all, though. So he's hoping that he has a way to kill me on his turn. So if he has another Lord in hand and he draws one this turn, we are just dead. If not, I'm not 100% certain he can afford to attack. Like, he might attack with 1 or 2. But if I draw a Dragon Fodder or something that puts 2 extra bodies on the table, just getting guys across is going to be too bad for him. He is going pretty all out. He's rethinking it. He looked at it. He saw that if he did that, he was probably dead. He does know that I still have a Goblin Guide in hand. He does not know what my last card is, though. Okay, so he's getting in for 6. That's respectable. That's probably pretty close to what I would do. Looks like he's got another Lord that he can Ether Vial in. Yes, he does. Hitting me for 8. Mire is bad. Mire is very bad. All right, we're definitely playing Goblin Guide. So now, if I attack all out, I'm going to get 3 damage across. Maybe 2 damage across. He might leave the Goblin Chieftain. I would assume that he blocks it. But then that kills both of his Lords. YOLO. Do the kids still say YOLO these days? YOLO. He's got to block, because otherwise he's got to block at least 2. So that's really the play here. I would probably block 2, take 6, go to 1, leave one of my Lords, so your guys are unblockable. Actually, he can block Goblin Chieftain with one of the Lords, and then the Goblin Guide. Ooh, so what's he doing here? Oh, he's doing the blocks. Okay, that actually kind of works for me. That particular blocking scheme means that he does not win on his turn, theoretically. He could have another Lord in hand, and that still does it. But he doesn't know what my last card is. It could be a burn spell. He could be worried about going to 1 life. Going to Spreading Seas a Mountain. I'm going to tap for a red, literally for no reason. But again, just to kind of give him the impression that I have a Lightning Bolt. I am at 50 seconds, or just under 50 seconds. So I am probably going to lose this match to time before I'm going to lose to damage. Drawing another land was pretty suboptimal. We are going to attack. Again, giving him the impression that he should not go below 3 life. So he blocks with this Harbinger. He's continuing to fall for my ploy. Oh, but he's got a Blossoming Defense. Could he have just won? Could he have just attacked and won? So yeah, if he was not under the impression that I had a Lightning Bolt in hand, he would not have blocked there and used that Blossoming Defense. I'm at 5 seconds, though. I'm going to lose this game. There's no way I cannot lose this game at this point. I'm at 1 second, and we lose. Extending the GGs to our opponent. That means we are currently 1-3, which is pretty bad. But we are going to play our 5th round and hopefully try to at least give you some entertainment, if not break even.